Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Delicious Budgeting. My name is Anna. I have my dog Marshmallow here with me. So today we're doing part 2 of my life update video. Today we'll be covering a variety of topics of things that have happened since my last life update video, which is back in August. So a lot has happened since then. So last week we did part 1 of the life update with Marshmallow's health journey. Long story short, he is good now, but boy did he have a tough year last year. So I'll have that linked above and down below if you want to check it out. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I focus on content such as beauty, lifestyle, and how to save money. So if you're interested, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, let's give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to turn on notifications. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday. And let's just go ahead and dive right into it. I know I mentioned this when I was giving you all an update on my 2021 goals, but I just want to go a little more in depth on like the story behind it. So your girl got promoted finally. I am so happy. I studied so hard to get this position. So for my job, you have to do like a written test, like an oral interview. It's just like a huge process. So I worked so hard to get this position. Like when the opportunity came up, I applied for it and I did not get it. And I was really down on myself and like, oh my gosh, why didn't I get it? I'm such a failure. Just all these like negative things are going through my head. So what had happened was like my link wasn't working for the written test. So they gave me like an extra like 5 or 10 minutes and I miscalculated. And on top of that, I was just like putting a lot of pressure on myself. Like, if you don't get this, you know, you're not gonna get the higher pay grade. And you know, just like all that work's gonna be for nothing. I was just being like really negative on myself and putting a lot of pressure. And I remember the dogs were outside at the time and they were just getting into the neighbor's dogs, and it's like a really hard test. And I went outside to get the dogs, and when I came back inside, I kept changing my answers and everything, and I submitted late. So if you submit it late, it does get disqualified. So I just messed up there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like had it not been late, would I have gotten it? I don't know. So it's just like the what if. And I think I literally had to wait like 6 or 7 months later to even apply again. It was funny too because a lot of higher up messaged me because they assigned me like a special project to work on that they trusted me with. And I felt like that was like a good opportunity within itself. Like they trusted me to do something that has never been done at my job. So I was like, oh wow, they chose like, you know, little old me. And they're like, hey, this position opened up, did you apply for it? And I was like, yeah, I'm super nervous. So having that pressure too, like, oh, they all know I applied for it. If I don't get it, I have to be like, oh no, I didn't get it. Or they're like, oh, Anna didn't get it. So it was just like a lot of pressure the second time around, but I just like really took it seriously. Had to erase what had happened last time. This time around, I took it so seriously. Like I asked my mom ahead of time, can you watch the dogs? I don't need any distractions. On the weekends, I pulled out my training binder and like all the little word problems that we had. I was like starting up from scratch, looking back at my notes. Like I had to know I was putting my all into this. First time I applied was for like a limited term position. So I think that was like good for a year or two. Interviewed, took the test, they picked me. I was the top scorer. So I was like, oh my gosh, like yes. And now I was just kind of like worried, like, okay, I have like a year or two that's gonna fly by. Cause you know, it takes like months for this position to be available. So that was like a little bit of pressure, but I was like, at least I got it. Like this is gonna be so great for my family and I. And like literally like 2 days later, they were like, hey, we have a permanent position. Like, you know, if you're interested, I'm like, heck yeah. And so I interviewed for that too. I was a top scorer for both. So the fact like I didn't get it the first time and I'm like, you're offering me the position, like I was a top scorer, like I just couldn't believe it. Cause like I was so happy, like yes, like not only am I getting like a higher pay grade, I can like help out more financially. I'm making more than I ever made in my life. Like my degree finally paid off, like that summer school, just everything I've done like in the past like year or two just finally paid off and I could just keep moving up from here. So that was just absolutely wonderful. And it just felt like so good. Speaking of work, so I still work from home 100%. So at first, last year was supposed to be like early September, we were supposed to return back. Then it got pushed to October. And then it was like, you know what? You guys are all gonna be like requesting vacation days off for the holidays. Doesn't really make sense. We'll revisit the idea next year. And we were supposed to go back in February, but that didn't happen. It just keeps getting like pushed back. They said maybe within the next 6 months, but even then it might be less than 6 months, they don't know. So they do have to give us a 30-day advance notice just to get like everything situated. Also too, when I do return back to work, it'll be like 1 week in office and then 1 week at home, so that's nice. So 2 weeks out of the month I'll be home, but long story short, not too sure when I'm going back to work. So too, within the last few months, I have been getting like more opportunities behind the scenes. So at first I was like reviewing products for like different companies, so that was fun. It just kind of comes in like randomly though. Like there was like 2 close together that was like pretty cool to like test out new products. I like giving reviews, so that was really fun. Also too, there was one company that reached out to me like about pet products, like leashes and collars, like with like really cute designs on them. So we're going back and forth a little bit, trying to like figure out like what's gonna work best for like a collaboration. But you know, the more we talked about it, you know, we started talking about like pricing and everything. It's gonna be like $30 or $40 like just for a harness. And I was like, is there any way we could like lower that? And they were just like, no, because it, you know, we have like the designs on it, but you can have like a 20% off code. And I was like, honestly, and it sucked because we were going back and forth for a little bit. And I was like, it just doesn't fall within my brand. Like I would never tell anyone to purchase a $30 or $40 harness, even with a 20% off code, because I'm gonna go to Five Below or Ross. The most I would probably spend is like maybe 15. Like, you know, it's like really exciting at first, like get to work with somebody, and like, you know, I love dogs. So really sad to turn it down, but I just had to be like loyal to myself and to you all. Like it would have been like a cool opportunity to bring like extra income, but I'm not gonna tell you all to buy something that I wouldn't even pay for, because that's even like too expensive for me. But I mean, it was cool like offered that option. But yeah, I'm just like really excited for just like a little like opportunities here and there. I've really been working on my mental health this year. So I finally found a therapist I was able to connect with. I felt very comfortable with her, and she was able to provide me a reason why she thinks like I act the way that I do with certain topics. For instance, I cannot watch like scary or gory movies or like anyone getting killed on TV. Like I'll just like pass out, or like Paranormal Activity, like those like commercials, like the suspense, you know someone's gonna jump out on you. Like even going to the movie theater is like seeing the previews for like the scary movies. I'm just like, I cover my ears and my eyes. I'm just like, because I know it's there, I just don't know when. Like my heart starts beating. It's just like awful. So can't do that. Can't even watch Grey's Anatomy. Like nothing gory on TV. I talk about pregnancy and labor. Even when they show like on reality shows, I'm like, oh nope, can't, like have to fast forward it. Like I just cannot. And anything like involving like surgery, just basically like anything with like blood, goriness, I just, nope, cannot. So she was telling me like, okay, when did you start feeling this way? And it all like went back to, I think it was like in 7th or 8th grade, and you know, they split up the boys and girls in school, and we were having like the talk, and my friend like asked like a really disturbing question. I don't want to repeat it, but anywho, I remember after that, I threw up and I blacked out. And next thing you know, I was sitting outside, my uncle's coming up to pick me up from school. I had no idea how I got outside or anything, I just blacked out. And ever since then, like even in high school, like every Wednesday in PE, we had like a health class session. And I remember like they're talking about like bones or something breaking, and we're like on the bleachers at the time. I literally like slid through the bleachers and fell, and like the teacher's assistants had to like grab me. So the therapist says she thinks like just because I had that one reaction, I just started like, oh well, this happened last time, so this is how I react to it. And that's literally what happened. Like I've been fine. Like my mom works in medical. As a kid, I used to love like Michael Myers, Jason, like I used to love like scary stuff. I played like Grand Theft Auto. Like I can play those games just fine. But yeah, like it made sense. Like ever since that moment, I started acting that way, and there was like no reason why. I never broken a bone, I never been through surgery, I never seen like gore in real life, so it all made sense. I finally felt like I had an answer like why I reacted the way that I did. And I felt like we're making like a good connection and a breakthrough, and I think we're supposed to have like 6 sessions. And the second one, she's like, you know, Anna, I really enjoy talking to you, but you're a very functioning adult, and there's some more patients that need more help. Like you're going to work, you're not calling in, you know, like you're doing your day-to-day activities, and unfortunately, like I can no longer see you. She's just saying like certain topics, like you know what's gonna cause your panic attack, like other people that just have it and they don't have a reason why. I understand where she was coming from, but at the same time I was like, darn, like I finally found someone. I felt like we're making progress, And she did say, you know what, I do offer a group therapy session, which you can enroll in. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was like a 5-week course and I loved it. I learned so much from it. My family come over, so that's why the lighting's a little different. Anyways, picking up where we left off. So I felt like I took a lot from the group session, and I don't mean for it to sound a certain way, but it just showed like a variety of like different like anxiety and experiences that people have. So like some people I'm like, oh wow, they have it like a lot worse than me. So it kind of like made me like downplay my, or like, oh, you know what, I thought it was like so bad, but like hearing other people, I'm like, oh my goodness, it could be like so much worse. It can be on a daily basis. It can prevent me from like doing X, Y, and Z. And others had like similar experiences like I had, so we got to connect in that way. So that was really nice as well. Or like some people are just starting to like get like mini panic attacks, and like I've had that in the past and overcame it, so I was able like to help them. One thing I really learned from it and what worked best for me, like I'm not a medical professional, this is just something like I thought I would never do. She had us do like exposure therapies, and also like with the you know what testing, I had to get those done. And she said, you know, just go take one and, you know, try to like train like your mindset. I was like, I'm gonna pass out. And she told me I fortune tell a lot. So she goes, how do you know you're gonna pass out? How do you know that's gonna happen? I was like, oh, because in the past it does. And she goes, try changing your mindset. And that kind of bugged me at first, because I'm like, I just can't change my mindset. Like that just sounds so easy. But actually, it really did help. And I know I may sound like super annoying, but honestly, like changing your negatives into a positive have like really helped me a lot. Not just like with the anxiety, but even like if I'm mad, like the internet's slow or something like that, just something like super silly that I get like frustrated over, I just like stop and say, hey, be grateful you have internet, be grateful you can pay like your internet bill. Just taking a step back and just like being grateful and just like really analyzing the situation and just, you know, turn the negative into a positive. The you know what testing, can't say it on here. So with that, the first time I did panic a bit, but I didn't pass out. The second time I had to get it, she told me, oh, it's a self-swab. I was like, oh no, it's not. So I was like freaking out even more, and it was in the car. So I was like, can I recline my seat? She's like, sure. And I'm like, am I doing it right? She's like, yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It was not bad at all. So I was like, oh. So then I booked one at Walgreens through the drive-thru. I did that. It was totally fine. It was a self-swab too. I was really liking the exposure therapy a lot. I felt like that was helping me and like just changing my mindset. And I was like on the roll for a bit, like just try to encounter all my fears, try not to pass out. And then also one of my good friends from high school, she was training to be like a birthing coach, and she was offering free classes like to talk about like labor and childbirth. And I'm not by any means like trying to have a kid right away, but those were like one of my fears, I guess you can say, or just talking about it. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to have some exposure therapy, learn a bit, see like how my body reacts like talking about it. And I even told her too, I go, I'm not planning to have like any kids anytime soon, but like, yeah, I would like to like learn more. And I told her the situation, like how I may pass out. Like she wanted me to watch a birthing video. I'm like, okay, we're not there yet. We did not. I don't think I was ready for that. But honestly, like I'll have her link down below, because she has like an own your own birth program, which I highly recommend, because I learned so much and I was able like to talk with things with her. And then, honestly, not gonna lie, there are some things that like she would share her screen and there's like diagrams, because she made me tell her what makes you uneasy, and then she would give me like a warning, like I'm gonna show a diagram, if you want me to close it, I will. So sometimes I'm like, okay, you know, I'm okay with it, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, we need to like X out of this. So it was good, because I was able to talk about a lot more than I was before. I feel like I definitely had growth from her program. And like I mentioned, like even if you're like me and you're not trying to have any kids, or if you're not pregnant or not a mom, like I recommend her course, because not only did it teach me a lot about like pregnancy and childbirth and like your options, but I applied her techniques to other areas in my life. Like even like with my YouTube and my stress, like I would talk to her about other things. At a point I was like upset because I wasn't like growing as much as I would. And she goes, didn't you want to have 150 subscribers at the end of the year? You're double that, you're at 300 and something. And I was like, Oh, that's true. Like, I just kind of wanted like more, and I kept pushing myself. I was not taking care of myself. I was just stressing, and then also too, I was telling her I'm working out 5 to 6 times a week. I'm not losing weight. I'm changing my eating habits, and you know, I'm just like venting, and she goes, "Have you thought because like you're stressed maybe?" And I was like, oh, like I didn't even think about that. So like I took all of her techniques, and like once like life slowed down, I started to be stressed, and I started to feel like the progress in my workouts again. Because I was like, you know, if I told people I'm working out 5 to 6 times a week, they'd be like, yeah, right. On top of that, she would send me like articles to read too. So just more exposure therapy, or she'd give me a warning like, hey, this might include a diagram, just so you know, like make sure like Ernie's home, or like you're sitting down. So she like really took all that in effect, and she's so organized too. And what I really liked is like she celebrated like my small wins. So like there was this book she recommended, and I was reading it, and I said it made me really uncomfortable, so I closed it, and then I just like took like 10 minutes and said, hey, you know this made you uncomfortable, you know why? It was just like one word, I forgot what word it was. And I went back to it, and I was able to finish a page. I told her about that, so she put that under my small wins. So it's just like really nice. I go on and on about how her class has like helped me like in my everyday life as a content creator. Even in my workouts, it wasn't just all about like pregnancy and childbirth and labor. It helped me with my anxiety, just, you know, de-stressing in general. So I'll have all of her information linked down below if you want to check her out. That's been everything that has been going on in the last few months. So anywho, I hope these tips were helpful. Again, I'm not like a medical professional. These are just the tips that helped me. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment box down below if you like these life update videos. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to turn on notifications. I upload every Wednesday, Saturday, and I'll see you all in my upcoming videos. Bye everyone.